Billy Tipton became a legend in the golden age of jazz. He performed with giants like Sinatra and the Duke. He was a family man, a scoutmaster. But Billy Tipton was really a woman, and nobody knew. He sacrificed his womanhood for the sake of art. Exclusive, an interview with the wife who lived with Billy's 60-year secret. Hello, everyone. I'm Maury Povich, and welcome to A Current Affair. It is just an unbelievable story. Billy Tipton, one of the great legends of jazz, played with Duke Ellington, Frank Sinatra, made hit records. For 60 years, Billy hid the fact that he was a woman. Even his wife said she learned it only after his death last month.
The day that he died, our young son and I found out through the paramedics that Billy had been hiding this secret for over half a century, that he was a woman.
Kitty, how does that happen? You were married to this man for nearly 20 years. How did you not know?
Well, Billy was very unique. He never lied, he never cheated, and he never stole. But he had to keep a secret that none of us knew.
It was also a secret kept from Billy's 3 adopted sons, who still refer to Billy as he, and of course, Dad.
I don't know how he did it. I really don't know how he did it. It's amazing.
And although a little bewildered, namesake Billy Jr. says everyone still loves Dad, despite the deception.
He's still the same. He's my dad. And I'll love him no matter what. It doesn't matter to me whether it was a man, a woman, or what. He'll always be the same.
It is a story unlike any that I have seen, even here on A Current Affair. And you've got to see this one. And we'll have it coming up in a few minutes. It is the most bizarre story we've run into in the past 2 years we've been on. The Billy Tipton story, a jazz great who fooled the world and his own family for most of a lifetime. Our Mike Watkiss reports on the legendary man who was always a woman.
Way back in the days when America's heart beat to jazz, Billy Tipton was already on his way to becoming something of a legend. He was great on piano. He was tremendous on sax. Billy backed up Sinatra. He played with the Duke. He was a talent agent. He was a family man. Yet for all his many accomplishments, Billy Tipton will probably best be remembered for his ability to act. Because you see, Billy Tipton was actually a woman, a jazzy gender bender who for nearly 60 years turned the entire world into a stage while composing for herself a brand new life as Mr. Billy Tipton.
He was the perfect husband every woman dreams of.
And it seems Billy's deception was the perfect composition. In fact, it was a secret that wasn't even uncovered until late last month, when Billy Tipton suddenly died at the age of 74. Quite a shock, considering in the role of a man, Billy Tipton had married, adopted 3 sons, even served as a scoutmaster.
I found that out the day he died.
And in fact, it was only moments after his father had died in his arms that Billy Tipton Jr. was told by a paramedic that his father was a woman.
One of the paramedics turned to me and asked a question: if my dad had had a sex change at any time in his life. And I became outraged at this. At first, it was a great shock. I could not believe that this had happened. But it was only moments later that I told myself, I said, hey, nothing's changed. No matter what he was, I loved him just the way he was. He was always there for us.
Middle son John says he also had no idea until after Billy's death.
No, when we were growing up, it was
Dad slept upstairs, Mom slept downstairs. And we just figured Mom stayed up late, so Dad wanted to get his rest for work. We grew up like that, and that's what we thought.
When we adopted 3 children, he was a doting, loving, caring, ordinary father. Father. He was their father.
Kitty Oakes was married to Billy Tipton for nearly 20 years. Yet she, too, claims she found out the truth only after Billy's death.
I think a lot of people are going to listen to this and say, how could anyone live with another person for 20 years in a marital situation as husband and wife and not know?
When we met, he told me that he had been in a car accident and that the front of a big Buick, the motor, he was pinned on his lap and against his ribs, and they were badly crushed. And so he had unable to be as a normal man.
So basically, he told you he could not have a sexual relationship with you.
That's right.
You were not interested in one anyhow?
Because of some physical problems I had at the time, no.
You spent 20 years together and didn't have the physical contact, the sexual contact, if you will, that would have allowed you to determine what Billy's sex really was.
That's right. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter because he gave me something. I'm sure there are other men out there that do, but he gave me a warmth and a love and a caring and support that every woman dreams of. And this is what I got.
And of course, what the world got was a sparkling career full of plenty of musical high notes. There was the Billy Tipton Trio, concerts, road trips, even popular record albums. But the question remains, why did Billy do it?
There was only one way he could become what he wanted, and that was to take on the disguise of a man.
And indeed, almost everyone close to Billy seems to think the masquerade started as Billy's way of breaking into the male-dominated world of music, a way for a talented young woman to be taken seriously in a place where women weren't always welcome, especially not 60 years ago.
Society has said, women, you're not smart enough, you're not strong enough, you don't have the talent. We are going to block you out of the male world.
And Billy Tipton proved them wrong.
That's right.
And here in Spokane, Washington, where Billy Tipton lived for more than 30 years, there was definitely shock when news of Billy's secret was made public. But there were also very few people who seemed to be angry about the deception. Maybe that's because, regardless of gender, Billy Tipton had become a much-loved member of this community, a person who had touched a great many lives, and in so doing, won over a great many fans. Like the many fans that used to gather at Spokane's once grand Davenport Hotel, a place where Billy's memory and music still seems to haunt the now vacant hallways.
You saw him a couple of times every day.
Oh, yes. He had an officer in the building.
Never suspected anything.
No, never did.
What kind of person was Billy?
Billy was very, very friendly. Every time he'd see me, he'd always have a smile for you. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, whatever. Real friendly.
Genuinely friendly.
Genuinely friendly, yes. I don't think he had an enemy in the world that I know of.
Musician friend and former business partner Mike Brandon agrees.
If he had a fault, it was probably that he was too nice a guy. He was too accommodating to people with whom he did business, and because of that, they took advantage of him. And he was the first one to give a person a second chance or a third chance or a fourth chance to be the person that he felt that they could be.
And apparently that nurturing and kindness spilled over into Billy's relationship with the 3 adopted sons, who still call her Dad.
Billy, any anger that your father didn't let you in on his great secret?
I have no anger about anything that happened, because I understand that his love of something is why he did what he did.
His love of music.
Yes.
Son John, however, does have one regret.
He should have left something behind explaining. I understand why he did it, but I don't know. When he went, a piece of me went with him. I loved him.
And so it seems did everyone else. The artist who changed herself in order to be true to her art. The person who always seemed to give of herself in order to help those around her. But of course, it was this. The music that Billy Tipton sacrificed so much for. And in the end, it was a sacrifice that probably cost Billy her life. Because always afraid that the secret would be discovered, Billy Tipton adamantly refused to go see a doctor, even in the final days when a bleeding ulcer was robbing her of every ounce of strength. After 60 long years, Billy Tipton's glorious performance finally came to an end. But not so Billy's legend. The legend of the musician, parent, friend, woman, and fabulous performer.
I hope that he's happy where he is, that he's not still suffering, that he's somewhere still playing his music.
Some story, huh?